Alright, y'all, I want to talk a little bit about my two primary mowers. I bought this back about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now, something like that. When I got it, I bought it off my neighbor. I knew it was very well taken care of. At the time, I paid $32.50 for this mower, and it's really well worth that price. I've seen them with similar hours for as much as $4,000. This is a very heavy duty mower. It has a fully hydraulic deck lift, power steering, tilt steering. It's got differential lock. It's a 54-inch cut. Very nice machine, very heavy duty. And it's been great for my business. I know that recently I talked about the problems I've been having with my machinery, and it's just been wear items for the most part. And what do you expect with 1,000 hours? You know, it had over 700 hours when I originally bought it, and it rolled over 1,000 this year. And it's just been simple things that have went bad on it. I did put a new seat on it. The original seat, the glue, where my neighbor kept it on his carport so the sun would hit the back of it. And this, I think, is like a 2007 model mower, I do believe. And the pads just fell off. The seat pad has a very, very small rip in it. I could glue it back, and if I could figure out what kind of glue would be best to hold it on there, I could glue it back and still use the seat. I just went ahead and bought this big deluxe seat. This is kind of an aftermarket seat, but it's basically an actual John Deere seat, but it's aftermarket, if that makes any sense. But that was over $100 for the seat, and that improved the overall ride quality of this mower tenfold. Now, I used to run the chute flap on this mower, like the standard hard plastic chute flap. And I was holding it up. I had these zip ties on here, and I had just a bungee cord. That way I could unhook it, let it down if I need to, and I just ain't ever took them off. But one thing, I put the seat on it. I had to put a battery in it. I had to put a new throttle cable in it because it got wore out and quit working on me. I got an aftermarket throttle cable to put in it, and it wants to keep popping out of the dash, but it works. I can bear with that. It has a 26 horsepower liquid-cooled Kawasaki V-twin carbureted engine on it. I did have to put a head on it. It was burning a lot of antifreeze, especially when it initially started up. It would burn a lot of antifreeze until it got warmed up. Now I think it still was burning some, but it wouldn't smoke nearly as bad at that point. But I had to get that replaced. And that was almost $1,700 to get that work done. They replaced a number of gaskets where they had to disassemble the motor and whatnot. And you cannot find these engines anymore that goes in this mower. I would lift the hood, but I've got the other one parked in front of it, so I can't. So now I ain't climbing up there to do it anyway. But you cannot find these liquid-cooled Kawasaki's brand new. I probably could have put some sort of Kawasaki on it, but by the time I paid $1,600 or $1,200 or whatever for a Kawasaki engine and then put it on myself, I wouldn't have been no better off than what I was. So this motor, I would rather have a liquid cooled, honestly, than a carbureted, or a liquid cooled than an air cooled. And I've never had a problem that I know of this engine running hot. And besides that, a air cooled engine, I don't know if the sensors and everything that this mower has, if just a standard air cooled engine would hook up and make the electronics all work correctly. So I just went ahead and had it fixed. I put ballast in all three of the mowers that I've had this year, and that added up to quite a bit of money there. I put tubes and ballast, methanol, liquid ballast in all the tires, full in the front, about half in the back. And the reason being is I had some properties this year that were extremely steep that I could have had my helper weed eat. I couldn't have done it that well myself because I just cannot hold a hill. I fall and bust my ass every time. I broke my leg, my right ankle in 2013. Earlier this year, I sprained that ankle twice. And it ruined me pretty much for the rest of the season about being on steep hills. So some of them hills I could easily take, well, since I know how to run the mower, I could easily do it. Take this one up and down them. I had to have the extra ballast in the front. I did buy some suitcase weights for the mower, which ended up kind of being a waste, but I do have them now. I do plan on eventually getting a subcompact tractor or something there like that, and I can have them for that or whatever. So I'm going to keep them, and besides that, if I were to sell them weights, I know somebody that would buy them instantly right now and probably pay what I paid for them. So there was that. As far as the deck, I had to put quite a bit of work into the deck. This right here, hopefully y'all can see this. I'm behind the camera, behind the computer. These right here, I had to replace on both sides. I did not replace the back, I don't think, or the front. I don't think I replaced the back ones. And I think I put all new wheels on. These wheels only last about a season, maybe a season and a half, and I got to replace them. Probably about the middle of next season, I'll be replacing these again. But I had to put both belts. It's got a primary drive belt and a secondary belt on this mower. I had to replace both of them. I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see this very good. I'm going to get a flashlight and try and show y'all what I've done underneath the mower here. Okay, I do not know if you all could see this. I'm not going to risk throwing my back out just to lean over to try and look at the computer. Hopefully y'all can see it. Best I can tell, you can. But let me get something to point with. Now all these items and everything that I've done to this mower has just been wear and tear. 1,000 hours of use. The last 3 years has been commercial use. So what do you expect? These arms on both sides where I replaced, I've done that myself. This little aluminum block right here, there's two on each side, and there's another similar one up in the front. I originally replaced all 4 of them, and then the front draft arm broke. I'll show you that in a minute, what that looks like. But that's what I've done to the deck here in the rear. And then if y'all could see that front draft arm assembly, that is all new. I bought the kit that came with the aluminum blocks, the pins, the nuts, the washers, everything it came with. And I replaced that because it broke. I don't know why it broke. It broke right after I replaced everything in the rear, which is a load of bullshit, but that's what happened. And buying all of these mostly John Deere original parts adds up quick. And a lot of it is just stuff that I had to do because I had to get the mower going. Well, really it was still going, but a lot of it was just wear and tear, and it improved the cut quality. So that's a big point as to why I did that. Now, this mower, this year, I put ballast and tubes in the tires. I put a brand new battery on it. I did put it in the shop to have a little bit of work done on the engine. It wouldn't run exactly right. It would run good at full throttle. Anything below that, it didn't want to run good. And I just didn't like that. I want it to run good if it's going to run at all. I had some parts done on the deck. I think one of the idler pulleys went bad and was rubbing the deck. I'm not going to try and show you that because I'd have to drop the deck, and it's a manual lift, and I ain't walking around the trailer to do it. But that various things that went bad on that mower. I did replace one spindle. I actually bought a pack of 3, a 3-pack of spindles. It was $112 for all 3 of them. I replaced only one of them for now, so I can have the others for spares. But just a lot of little odds and ends. But the biggest thing that added up so quick on these mowers, the John Deere cost $1,700 roughly. $800 of that was labor. because they charged $100 an hour and they worked on it for 8 hours. But they actually worked on it more than that. They originally quoted me for 8 hours, so they charged me for 8 hours, which I greatly appreciate that, because some companies would quote you one thing and then tack on more because it ended up being more. They didn't do that, and I really appreciate that, because that would probably been about $1,200 or a $2,000 bill at that point. And the work, I had everything on the little mower done at the shop. I could have rebuilt the deck myself easily. I think when I finally got around to it, my back was out at that time maybe, and I planned on putting it in the shop to get the engine work done. I don't even know what they done, if they even rebuilt the carburetor, replaced the fuel pump, I don't know. It wasn't much because they only worked on it for 2 hours. So that was another $200 in labor out of the $600 some that they charged me, but I didn't have to fool with it. And at that point, I didn't care. That was fine with me. I got it done and got it back. It's good to go for the next season, I do believe. It has over 1,000 hours too. It's a 48-inch, only 18 horsepower. It does have the Briggs Vanguard engine on it though. And it's a good mower. It cuts amazing, honestly. It cuts better than my big mower. I mean, it cuts very well, and very low, it cuts very well. A lot of times I'll use it on my yard because it does cut so well and so low. But these mowers, I know they're tractor mowers, I know they're slow, but they cut amazing. Pretty much every one of my customers compliment me on the quality of work that I do, and it's all because of these mowers. I try to be good attention to detail. I try to double cut, and that's really my biggest downfall. Pretty much everybody that I only had one customer that pretty much all year was weekly. And once the growing stops, like in the middle of summer, if it's a drought, which we never did have a drought really, I skipped a few yards for 1 or 2 weeks this year, and that was it. Last year, I skipped a lot because it was so dry. But I know I added up a lot of money into all this, but I literally doubled my customer base too this year. And I know that doubling my customer base, I should have doubled my profits, which I did. I went from about $7,000 last year to about $12,000 this year. So that's pretty darn good if you ask me. But like I said in I think it's Bowman's stream today. This is the 28th that I'm recording this on. You know, everything was going good. All my machines just said, fuck it, and everything flew out of hell all at once. But I know I did make some needless purchases, and I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm not trying to look for, how do I word this? I'm not looking for attention, whatever. I am looking for some advice because I'm undecisive on what I should do. I know my machines are getting older. I know I should upgrade. And I've got a number of people are saying to buy a used mower. But what I'm thinking, I'm already in the hole. Should I buy a used mower and throw money at it potentially? Or should I just finance a new one? Because I can get right now from the factory a brand new 915E zero turn John Deere, 0% for I think it's 48 months. I counted up the cost. It's going to be like under 10 grand or right at 10 grand for it. And the overall cost for 1 year of payments was going to be like $2,500 or something like that. If this year goes well and I don't have the big tool expense, I bought a bunch of tools. I bought some ratchet wrenches, just various things. I work on stuff here in the garage. I piddle with all winter and through the summer if I need to do repairs. I bought various things, tools, battery tools, just different odds and ends. I won't be doing that next year, I'm sure. I have my mowers all ready to go, so I won't be really spending any money on, like this year I changed the transmission fluid in my X540. that was, I don't even know what it was right now, for all the fluid and the filter for that. I won't be doing that next year because you only change the fluid every 200 hours. I don't quite put 200 hours on my mowers in a season. I don't quite put 100 hours on my mowers in a season. So really it's every 2 years I change the transmission fluid. I'll be saving on that. Just various things in this coming year I'm not going to be spending money on. This year it just so happened that all the stars aligned and shit happened, and that's how it was. That's just the way shit hit the fan. It's the way shit hit the fan and it flew, and that's where we're at. So, and then too, the dumpster trailer that I'm building, I've already got interest in it. I've been advertising it on Craigslist. It's not even built yet. And I've got people that are, I've showed it on Facebook too. I've got people that are showing interest in it. So hopefully the sooner I can get that done, the better. And that's going to be a very potential moneymaker. There's already people showing interest in it. So that's going to be an expense that I won't have next year. I won't be buying no stupid ass garage in a box. So that'll be an expense saved. And I'm thinking about selling my push mower. I haven't used it biggest part of the season. I actually dropped the account that I was using it on, and I despise push mowing. If I've got another push mower I can use for push mowing, it's not a bagger mower though, but shit happens. If I don't have baggers on these mowers, if I get a yard they want bagged, I probably won't be doing it, or I'll be charging a hell of a lot of money in order to rake it. And I don't have a pull-behind grass catcher no more either. I got rid of that because I wasn't using it myself. So, but the one I did have I got for free, and it was in rough shape, but it did work. But anyway, I'm going to be selling my push mower. I'm thinking about selling the walk-behind bush hog. This thing right here, I've just got them parts sitting there because I've been working on junk. But anyway, I've got that right there. I may possibly end up selling it, I don't know. Now the Cub Cadet is not here. I got that mower for free off a customer of mine. I put about $100 in. I had to put a battery on it and service it, which the kit was about $50, so $100 on that is good to go. I gave it to my aunt, and then when my mower started having to have parts replaced and breakdowns, whatnot, my biggest breakdowns was my own fault because I put tubes and fluid in all the tires, and I had multiple times that tubes were busting. And of course, once the tube busts, it leaks around the valve stem, and even if it's a tubeless tire, if it's just sealed, it doesn't help because it still leaks around the valve stem. So a lot of my time down was due to tires. But anyway, the Cub Cadet, I got it for free, put about $100 in it, then I put about another $120-some in the fluid and tubes in it, and then I had to replace the oil catch can thing that goes on the valve cover. That's like a breather tube filter type thing. I had to replace that. The breather tube itself needed replaced, and when I finally got around to replacing that, the coil went dead on it. And at that point, I think my back was hurt. I didn't give a shit anymore. I took it to the shop. A little over $100 for them to replace that coil. And the biggest reason I took it to the shop was that particular engine is a Kohler Command. It is the one with the little electronic box on the side of the shroud. And those are known for going bad. I don't know nothing about them type. I just know the magneto type that run off the flywheel. I don't mean the points and condenser type. I mean just the type that runs off the magnet and the flywheel and the coil. So I just put it in the shop. They took care of it. It ended up needing a spindle replaced. I bought a 3-pack of spindles. I made a video about that. Put that into it. So now I have about $500 in that mower. It's only got 245 hours on it. Hopefully I won't have to use it at all next year. It's at my aunt's house right now, and hopefully will stay there. And that mower, if I didn't give it to her, I could sell it for $1,000. I've seen them on Facebook same mowers, more hours, more rust. This one barely had any rust at all on it for $1,000. It's a pretty heavy duty garden tractor. I've showed pictures of it before. 54-inch cut. It's, you know, it's a good mower. It's like a almost $3,000 mower when new. But so I put money in that mainly because of my aunt, and then two, I was having to use it, so I had to put some money in it in order to use it. But anyway, that explains a little bit more of stuff. I didn't go into this video with the intent of egging this on. You know, I'm not trying to draw attention to myself because of this shit and whatnot. I'm just doing this for content. If y'all don't like it, tell me shut up. Say we get it now. Shut up. Whatever. Whatever you want to do. I'm just making this for the hell of it. I'm out here. I'm actually able to talk, which is honestly a big thing. Because some of y'all may notice I kind of stutter or whatnot, or can't hold a train of thought. That's a whole another topic that I ain't getting into. But anyway, I'm out here feeling good, able to talk. I want to make a video about this, so I did. If you don't like it, dislike it, and I won't do it no more. But anyway, if y'all want to say anything, leave a comment down in the comment section below. I respond to everybody. If you enjoy this, please hit the subscribe button if you want to. I'm making videos every now and then. Been pretty well into it this winter. I've got the time to do it now. Once summer gets here, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to invest in a GoPro or anything. Probably not. I don't trust them things. I've seen too many people buy them new and they just brick on them. And I'm not going to pay $500 for a fucking camera that is liable to just say hell with it and quit on its own. And I do believe, use proprietary software. I think that companies that do that are scumbags, honestly. Which, tell me, I mean, if somebody don't agree with that I don't know much about technology. I'm only 25 years old, and I use a flip phone, so whatever. Honestly, I never had internet or cable TV in our house. I lived with my parents. I never had cable TV or internet until I was out of high school. And the only reason I got it then is because I needed it for college. But anyway, this video has been going on way too long. I'll see y'all later.